Welcome to the red couch. I've got, wait guys, we're matching. Tiny. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And he noticed.
Can't believe you sang that song.
I'm a kid.
It took me back to my childhood,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
I'm that guy. I'm so excited. So, you can see it was meant to be. With the King X over here. X the kid, the King XX, all over, X-Men. Are you okay?
The whole design.
The whole design. Girl. He's been in hiding, he's been in hiding. You guys have seen he's kind of off the radar.
Yeah.
What's going on? Are you fine? Let me check his temperature.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm alright.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation, but besides that, I'm okay.
From what though? Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to add a coat of varnish on everything,
Yeah.
I feel like it's been 2 years since I last came out with the project.
Yeah.
So when it does drop, people need to feel like, we
people
understand. We understand why it took so long. But yeah, I think we're almost where I wanted to be. I'm very specific with just some of the detail that I want on the project, Yeah.
I mean, you're someone, you do take time to do what you want to do. But I mean, since leaving Cashtime, you dropped 2-3 tracks.
Yeah.
And it was crazy fire. But now
you
you're
so?
Yeah, it
I
was
think people slept. People
always
totally
sleep,
hit the snooze button.
I mean, do you know how many times I listen to songs, I'm like, you guys, you're hearing the song. It always happens. I think it's also just the way we are now. We consuming music way too much for us to be like, oh shit, hold up. Don't take it to heart. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, from that sound, Your Laundry Day Fresh, that's a very chilled. I was very impressed by that track, by the way. I remember.
You didn't tell me this, but did
I not tweet it?
I guess I had to come sit on the couch to hear
I told you, I was like, I remember I was going to fetch my graduation pictures, and I was playing that song in Pretoria, and Pretoria and that sound is kind of it just felt right, So
Thank you, girl.
That sound to what you're working on now. Is it somewhere along those lines? I mean, what are you doing? Are you on the vernac tip? Are you slaying it in English? Because you're very versatile. So, I mean, you've been cooped up so long. What are you really working on?
So Laundry Day is actually a cocktail of the sound that you're going to find on the album. It represents everything that's on the album. It's actually one of the pillar songs, one of the core, songs that the album is built on. It's on the album, by the way.
Yeah.
And so is Ipati as well. And so is Umfazwe Pepper. And for me, I think it's about just more than just putting out songs, because for me, putting together an album is an opportunity to tell an entire story. So people will understand just the way I've threaded the entire thing, just in terms of the track listing. They'll understand, because I mean, you have to listen to a project more than once to actually fully digest what the message of it is. So I feel like by the time people actually get into the album, they'll understand exactly why the songs sound the way they do. And maybe I actually realized, of late, when I started playing the album with the track list, that in terms of how I released the singles, that might have been confusing to people,
Yeah.
So, but I think with the track list, I think it totally makes sense. People are actually going to find that they're going to understand the songs that they missed, and it's going to come back and slap them in the face.
Had you already known? Because sometimes you drop tracks, then you start working on something, or sometimes you have an idea of wanting to do an album, and then the singles become part of it. So when you're saying that, it might have mixed us up a bit, had you already known then, when you were dropping the tracks, that this is what you wanted to do with your album?
Definitely not. Actually, for me, I guess I was meant to actually tell the story sort of backwards, because that's just how it's happened, Ipati is actually the pinnacle of the whole thing, because that's when you are celebrating everything that you've achieved. So people just need to actually just wait for the project, get into just how layered the entire thing is, I mean, it's nowhere near what I did on the mixtape. Firstly, I just want to put that out there. If people think I'm going to come out with like a similar sounding type product, then they're really gonna be disappointed. But where I took it and for the times, I think it's absolutely perfect. So yeah.
Let's track back to 3/4 pace.
Yeah.
That came out at a time where people were like, X is falling off. X is no longer rapping the way he used to do.
Were
We
people
don't
saying
like
that?
this X. Shit, I live on the streets.
Then
I know.
they were saying that then.
No, when it came out, it was like, man, we need the rapping X because you
Yeah.
know artists grow, right? And sometimes your fans don't want to grow with you. They're like, we want that X that we first got introduced to in La Liga, you
Yeah.
know. And when that came out, it was like, okay, he's still
Which is
got
a
it.
tricky thing,
Yeah.
actually, now that you
Yeah.
mention that. Like, I believe, like, actual real fans, as much as they go through life and they grow, you know, and your appreciation of music sort of grows with you. Like,
Yeah.
you're not, like, why would you want to listen to an artist who's stagnant and just keeps giving you just a certain level
Yeah.
of music, you know? For me, I pride myself in just wanting to grow from each project. And what needed to happen with this project was, like how I worked on it was, the music was the last thing for me because I needed to actually, me as a person, be the person who grows, you know? So when I get behind the mic, then I don't have to try anything that's outside of me. It's just gonna literally shine through the fact
Yeah.
that there's been growth. So, I mean, for me, look, if fans feel like, yeah, X is no longer the guy he was 2 years ago, then that's a great thing. He shouldn't
that's
be.
also true, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way I want to be at the same level I was at 3/4 pace. 3/4 pace was a step, actually. That was a step. So my next step cannot be on the same, you know, on the same level. It needs to be like slightly elevated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So the album, how's that going? When are we getting it this year? Are we getting it next year?
You were meant to already have the album.
Yeah. What happened?
So what happened was, the
what
album.
happened was.
Yeah. What happened
Yeah.
was, the album is being mixed in ATL, right? By a character called Nino from the 808 Mob.
Are you guys hearing this?
So now,
Listen carefully.
yeah. So now, this character mixed half the songs, because obviously it's a back and forth type of thing, you know, he'll send us a mix and we'll give him notes so he can go back and amend it. Then he had a kid. And then this is like midway throughout mixing and mastering the project, he had a kid. So obviously, just being the type of person I am, I'm thinking, yo, amazing. Like for me, I found that amazing because I was like, God is actually intervening in this guy's life right now. And he's saying, actually, I want to give you a different perspective for you to just finish off this mix, you know? That's how I viewed it.
Yeah.
I didn't view it as, oh, this guy's delaying the whole thing. I thought, no, this is exactly what's meant to happen. This guy, his kid and his wife and his girlfriend, or his wife, I don't know if he's married. But anyway, he was at the hospital for a good 2 weeks. And then his story just became dodgy because he disappeared off the face of the earth. So my album literally went missing in ATL. And I'm left there feeling like, is this story even believable?
Yeah.
Like, firstly, because I can tell you now, like, even my parents hit me up. Nah, they haven't heard the album because I'm not about to play them like the rough mixes that I have, you know?
Yeah.
I want to play them like the entire thing as it is. So my mom will hit me up like casually on a Wednesday. Hi, I'm fucking Jan, I ain't come. Yeah, I'm say buili, you know? Because obviously she knows that it's being mixed in the
Yeah.
States. Yeah, I'm say buili. And I'm like, yo, moms, it hasn't come back. We're still trying to find this guy. But anyway, what happened was, when Questa went to ATL, travels obviously with his team. So the person who put the whole thing together is Nota. He's got really the plug of these 808 Mafia guys. So he went out there, managed to link up with the 808 cats. And those cats are talking about Nino is no longer part of the squad. So if he did you dirty, then obviously our name is in the whole thing. Our name is being tarnished, you know? So I mean, they volunteered to just do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we had to resend them the files, and I mean, hopefully we don't have a repeat of the same
Yeah.
incident, but yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The universe
they're on
cannot
top
do
of
that
it.
twice.
Dude,
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
so they're on
okay.
top of that situation right now.
All right, so that gives us like an idea. We're still basically like, we're still
Yeah.
working on it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
totally.
apart from that, you took time to record the music, but like you said, you had to grow a bit as a person. I was speaking to Zinga the other day, and you know, he was talking about letting go of smashes to become Zinga, you know, growing up as a person and as an artist.
Yeah.
Where are you in terms of when you left Cashtime? Chili said La Liga's also coming back. What's going on with you
Yeah.
guys as a person, as you know, someone that's just come from a different phase of their artistry and a different phase of their life.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, you're not the same person you were 2 years ago, and this album is very different
Yeah.
as well. Obviously, it comes with you as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, where have you been? Where's your headspace right now in that time you were quiet?
I think for me,
You're even calmer.
yeah.
You're calmer
yeah,
than
yeah,
like
yeah.
you've really grown up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, but for me, I think the situation that I came from, you know, just our launch pad, I'll call it our launch pad, just the entire period
Yeah.
at Cashtime. There was a lot of just spoon feeding type of thing, you know, so a lot of the times you wouldn't even like pick your own beats. Like they'd suggest beats. Obviously, if you like it, then if you don't like it, then you can easily turn it down. But you were given a beat and said, "Nah, I beat Mfana. We feel like if you do 1, 2, 3 on this, it'll be your single. It's the type of song that'll pop."
Yeah.
And granted, obviously, they people who are coming in with like a lot more experience and knowledge of the game. So, I mean, that for me, at some stage, like I even had a convo with just the big homies and told them, Guti, it's very, it doesn't help you grow at all. Because, I mean, everyone else that we're competing with finds themselves in situations where they are making their own mistakes, trial and error, they learning from the thing. But now, if I've just been given a beat for passing special, ne? Put the song out, bah, and people say, yeah, it's hot. I don't even know what I did right. I don't even know where I could have, you know, tightened some of the things. Whereas if my rival puts out a song and people tell him they hate it or however they feel about it, you know, then he knows what not to do type of thing, you know. But you sitting there and the teacher is actually just coming in and helping you with some of the answers. So I think that's something that when leaving Cashtime, when you get unplugged from that entire just dependency, that entire situation, you find yourself just in orbit again, and you just like floating around, like, and you sort of like need to get to a point where you can get your feet on the ground again and figure out like me as an artist, me as an individual, where am I? Like what music do I feel like represents me? How do I want people to portray me and so forth. So all of that took a lot. It took a lot, you know. It's been a spiritual journey for me. Like I really like put the music last. Like for me, like when I left, I'll be honest, when I left, nah, I was mad at the game. I was mad at hip hop, which it doesn't even make sense when I say it now. Like that's why I even put out a song like Laundry Day Fresh and did it on a house beat.
Yeah.
Because that's how mad I was. I was
Yeah.
like, man, fuck this shit.
Why?
You know? Because of just my encounter with the game. Just, I felt like I'd been shortchanged somehow, you know?
Yeah.
I felt like, you know, look, man, I could have been further had, you know, my product just been given the necessary push for it to do what it needs to do. But instead, I mean, the product dropped with the bang, and then it was downhill from there on, you know? So, yeah, man, but I mean, I've accepted, obviously, everything is just like part of my journey, as part of just the learning process. And me needing to actually get to that point so I can literally climb back up and make the type of album that I've made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of that. I mean, it takes a lot. You know, a lot of us live in denial. A lot of us are also in orbit, but I mean, we're in denial of the fact that we are. So we're just gonna stay there, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do you come back down? At what point did you feel like, okay, I'm finding my feet now? You know, I think I have an idea, because I feel like you're always learning, especially about yourself.
Yeah.
But I mean, at what point did you stop orbiting and you feel like, okay, coming back down to earth now, let's do this thing?
I'm still orbiting even now, but I can see the ground.
Tricky.
Yeah, I can see the ground, like I can touch it.
Yeah.
Because when you're floating, you sort of can do all sorts of tricks,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I'm still orbiting even now, but like I'm orbiting in a location that I feel like, this is where I need to be, type of thing, you know? So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I feel like I still need to become, you know, but all of that is obviously going to happen with the time as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Questa said that, you know, he's not signing you guys into a label where he's going to manage you guys. He's just having you in his circle, you know, to just help wherever he can, you know. And I was a bit worried. I was like, okay, you leave Cashtime, now you're rolling with Rap Lyf. I mean, what's different about that situation? Is it okay for you to go from that situation into another? But since he explained, I get it. But I mean, from your perspective, how's your experience working in Rap Lyf? And is it something that you were like looking to continue, particularly with dropping the album now? You know, do you think you're going to get a different support than what happened with your previous product?
Yeah, I think it's always easier because I'm working with a peer, you know? I think with peers, there's a common understanding about just a lot of things. We view the game in very similar ways, you know? So it's easy for me to just suggest something that we can do, and for him to actually see what I'm saying and for us to actually implement the thing, you know? Whereas if you're working with people who you have like a really large age gap with, they might come with a different perspective that we feel like that might not work because of whatever the case is. But we can't deny that the game is getting younger, you know? I mean, the kids have the juice, so if you don't pay attention to the kids, then you're in real trouble. Yeah.
Man, that's, you know, I'm happy. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to know that you're working on something, because that's what we're asking ourselves. But I mean, most importantly, all I care about is really you. I remember I was like, are you okay? You know, because it's important. Because I mean, even without you, then there would be no music anyway. You know, and I think it's important for yourself as a man, a growing man, to also reflect and be like, ish, but you know. And I really appreciate that for you. So all right. The album is almost done, not. But I mean, what's next? Are you gonna drop something before the album?
Yeah, I think I have to. I don't think people are excited enough. Which makes sense. I mean, I've been pretty confusing.
Yeah, we've been like chilling at the gate, like
I've been pretty confusing.
Yeah.
So there's like a number of features that are gonna drop pretty soon. I think that will help people just sort of remember what's about to happen, and then I'll probably drop like one more single just to neutralize the game. And then I'm hitting you with the album. Yeah.
Look, good luck with that. We out here if you need us.
Appreciate that.
We're looking out for the album. We're gonna go to the listening session. If it's not happening,
it's
it happened now.
It's gonna be a crazy listening session too.
Yeah.
I've already planned out like,
You see?
I don't even wanna. I don't even wanna reveal too much, but the listening session is really gonna be something out of the box. Like I've really figured out how I wanna present the music, because I feel like it's about that initial encounter with the music. It's not really about too many other things that determine how you feel about a project. It's about so the first time I heard the thing, we were on top of like the Drakensberg mountain. I'm not saying that's what I'm gonna do. But
I mean,
it's all about that entire experience. So that's just something that I want to zone in on and fully capture, and then
I know you're capable. You've always been that guy that's always like thinking
Yeah.
out of the box.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you haven't lost that as well. So you
Yeah,
can only
totally.
be bigger.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, girl.
This is the real day one, guys. Like this guy, shit, bro. Like you've come
It
a long
is,
way.
Yeah.
So happy.
You've
for
come a
you.
long way, girl.
Stop. But yeah,
Yeah.
Kid X, he's okay. You know, we confirmed he's okay.
But what's going on with people thinking I'm not okay?
But I mean, you know, you're an artist, and
Yeah.
people expect you to shine the whole time. People don't get that.
Okay.
Even when you go to sleep, the lights have to go off.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
as an artist, the lights always have to be on, and
Yeah.
that's basically what it is.
True.
It's like, is this guy fine? You know, because you know
I don't think anyone is okay.
that's true.
I think people walk around. Look, if people think I'm not okay, I don't think anyone is okay.
Yeah.
I think people are just going through a lot because the world is just changing at such a at a rapid speed. So, I mean, you look around and people have their masks on.
Yeah.
To be honest,
That's
you know.
true.
So you never really know like what people are going through. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm okay, but I mean, the album is like a journey for me, you know? Like, in terms of, there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of pain on it. There's also like high points where we're celebrating, but when making the album, it's literally steps that I had to retrace again. So it really like took its toll on me,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I'm pretty, like I've survived the album type of thing.
It's going to be a good album. I can tell. Man, the music that's coming out this year is really good.
Yeah.
Particularly from, I feel like, you know, the more seasoned artists.
Mm.
Because it's almost like, as much as the young guys right now have a new sound and they're just doing their own thing,
Yeah.
that's their freshness. That's their
Yeah.
entry into the game. You guys are in a place where you've tried and tasted a lot of things and now it's like, refresh.
It's definitely a comeback year.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely like anyone who's been away, this is the year to come
Yeah.
back. So yeah, I feel like I've been away, so
Yeah.
back, motherfuckers.
He's back. Yeah, Kid X. Red Couch. We out here.
Broadcast live